Afternoon all and welcome along to this summer's blockbuster as the squad gets ready to make sure it's not just coming home but stays home. We've had shock retirements, a late withdrawal in the lead up to today's England squad announcement, but Sarina Wiegman has named the 23 Lionesses, hoping to create yet more history at the Euros, this time in Switzerland. Let's get straight to it then. St George's Park, the destination. Anton there, and he's got the headlines. Who's in, who's out, who's raising your eyebrows?
Yeah, we now know the 23 players that will be representing England at Euro 2025. The headline, Lauren James is named in the England squad despite being out for the last 2 months with a hamstring problem. The other name that has stand out from this list is Michelle Wiegman, the teenage sensation who's been impressing on loan at Brighton this season. She makes the final 23 despite only having an international career lasting around 15 minutes. We'll go through the squad in full, shall we? We'll start with the goalkeepers. Hannah Hampton is England's new undisputed #1 in the absence of Mary Earps, of course. Kiara Keating and Anna Morehouse will be her backups. Between them, they have 0 international caps. In the defence, some familiar names. Lucy Bronze is there. Jess Carter is named. Niamh Charles. Alex Greenwood is there, who hopes to get her 100th England cap during the group stage. Maya Letitia, who is on the standby list for the World Cup in Australia, she's named, as is Esme Morgan. Captain Leah Williamson and Lotta Wubben-Moy makes the squad in the absence of Millie Bright. In the midfield, there are only 5 midfielders named in the squad. There's Grace Clinton, Jess Park, Georgia Stanway's in, despite only playing an hour's worth of football in 2025 after coming back from a knee injury. Ella Toone and, of course, Kira Walsh. And it's up front where all the headlines will be made because, of course, there is Michelle Wiegman, the Arsenal striker. Aggie Beaver-Jones, who turns 22 the day before the final. Will she still be out there? Will England still be out there come then? Lauren Hemp, who's just come back from injury herself. Chloe Kelly, Beth Mead, of course, Lauren James, and Alessia Russo. Those are the 23 players England have selected. We will hear what Sarina Wiegman says all about it and why she's picked those players when she speaks to us at about 2:30.
Yeah, she's never late, as is Sue Smith, always on time, former England striker with us. I mean, could still be, hasn't retired yet. Yes, Sue. We're saying about eyebrows being raised. Lauren James, the big question mark for this one. She the big surprise for you that she's in?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, the 3 announcements before the squad was picked was quite a shock, I think, for a lot of us. And then I just looked at the key player that you wanted to be fit, you wanted to be available, and that was Lauren James. I think we know the qualities that she has, and I'm sure that Sarina Wiegman's had a lot of conversations with the medical team and making sure that she is going to be okay. And she's just a game changer. She's a player that if you've got 10 minutes of a game where you've got to win something, you bring her on and you know that she's capable of those moments of magic, ability to unlock a defence if needs be, the quality of pass, the vision, the awareness and obviously the goal scoring ability. So, yeah, I'm absolutely delighted that she's in the team. I know there'll be a lot of concerns about her fitness, but I just think that the quality that she has, she's a player that you take if you know that she can even play 10, 15 minutes of a game.
She goes. The question marks have been over this length of experience that's gone from the squad, the retirements that we've seen in the run-up to it. And yet there's no Nikita Parris in there who has that experience that maybe you think there. Michelle Wiegman comes in?
Yeah, and do you know, again, you look through the squad and you look at the goalkeepers' little experience there. Yes, Hannah Hampton's been to tournaments before, but actually starting, you're losing Mary Earps, you're losing that experience, that sort of presence there. You go through the 3, you go through the other players that have retired even before this. So, yeah, I thought Nikita Parris may go as that player that's experienced a lot, that has the know-how and can maybe pass that on to some of the younger players within that team. But I actually... I quite like the fact...
early on, you
I
see.
know. I quite like the fact that she's taken Wiegman because I think she's unknown. So I think that there'll be other countries that will be thinking, who is this player that could potentially come on? We saw what she did against Belgium. Was it 40-odd seconds she came on and scored an absolute worldie? And that's the ability that she's got. So, again, if you need something different, she's a player that I'm sure can do that. So, yeah, I actually quite like the fact that she's gone with she's not an unknown because she's obviously come on and she's done that, and we know what she's capable of at the younger age groups as well. But I think there'll be a lot of teams that will think, yeah, OK, how are we going to stop this player? So, yeah, I quite like that.
Yeah, we saw that the last World Cup with Lauren James going.
Of course, yeah. And that often happens, doesn't it?
Yeah. But it's a player being taken not just to make up the numbers, but we may see it at some stage in the tournament. We are used to Sarina Wiegman being fairly settled in the team that she runs through. What about the balance in maybe one less in midfield?
Yeah.
Leah Williamson could slot in.
Yeah, and again, I think I looked, there was only 5 midfielders in there. But I think you look at some of those defenders can go into midfield. Leah Williamson, we know, can do that quite easily, can go into that holding midfield role. There's other defenders that can do that as well. So she's probably looking at that. You know that Sarina likes to have at least 2 players for each position. So you could go through each position and go, for example, Alex Greenwood can play centre-half. She can also play left-back. Look at May Letitia. She can play centre-back. She can also cover at right-back. So she wants that cover. Leah Williamson, centre-half, but can play central midfield. So she'll certainly know that is, what she would want within a squad. I'm sure it's took her a lot of time to try and get down to this 23 because there has been quite a lot of competition for places, injuries and players maybe in form, players out of form, players coming back. So, yeah, I think she's got quite a balanced squad when you look at that, even though you say, well, 5 midfielders, is that enough? Is there enough cover? The fact that other players can play in there, I think, does help.
Last bit on this, because we are going to get more in depth into the squad. But again, the question is, should you have made that decision over Mary Epps saying she wouldn't be the number 1? Should you have maybe kept Fran Kirby about in case there's an injury during the Jamaica friendly? All these other... Sarina Wiegman's very blunt, isn't she? She's very upfront in her decisions. She makes them quick, one and done.
Yeah.
Right decisions?
See, I think we've praised Sarina Wiegman since she's come and took over as England manager because she's very honest and she tells the players exactly how it is. I remember Jill Scott coming out after the last Euros and saying, we all really respect that as players. We want to know where we are. So whether Sarina Wiegman's saying, you are going to be a starter or you are going to be a squad player, a finisher, as she calls them, the subs that are going to come on and make a difference. You know what your role is within that squad, and she makes that very clear. So the fact that she's probably come out to Mary Epps and said, you're not going to be my number 1, you are going to be number 2 in this tournament, has then made Mary make that decision. So I like the honesty, because I think if she had have said to Mary, OK, you two are fighting for that number 1 shirt, come along, which would have then made it a more experienced squad. You've got 2 top quality goalkeepers fighting, but then what's the atmosphere like? What's the environment like? We know that she wants the environment to be really super positive. That's one of the reasons why they went and won the Euros last time out, because of that, because they're competitive, but it's a good atmosphere. They're very together, so you don't want to have that. I suppose, I don't know the right word for it, but I just feel that her making that decision, being very honest, will help the squad in the long run.
I'm just checking her CV, European champions. She's done it, World Cup finalists. She's been there and done it. So she knows what she's doing. We'll hear from Sarina Wiegman and get some of these answers in a bit. 2:30, we're expecting to hear from her. SSN Lionesses, if you want to get in touch, if you've got thoughts on this squad so far. Right, let's have a little look a bit deeper then. We mentioned Lauren James. We've seen what she can do. And the whole... Something can change in a minute with Lauren James.
Yeah.
The cheat code, whatever you want to call her, she can make stuff happen, which you're going to need later in the tournament.
Yeah.
So how do you play her?
As in the position?
Do you start her? Where do you go with her?
I think if she was fit and she hadn't have obviously had this injury, of course, she's a player that can start, and we know that the qualities that she has. She can play in different positions, whether that's in the number 10, whether that's out wide, even in a false 9 if you needed her to play in that position. But she's certainly an impact off the bench. And I think because of the injury and because of the fact that she's just coming back, she needs minutes. She's not had any minutes yet. So you expect in that last friendly, she'll certainly play some part. The medical team will be, as much as they can, trying to build her up. But yeah, it will be an impact. and we know what impact she can have. And I just think to have her within the squad, I think gives the rest of the players a boost, and also a bit of a fear factor to the other sides that have got to face, and knowing that you've got a player of Lauren James's quality sat on the bench to come on and make that real difference.
Well, it's everything that happened with Toon and Russo in the last Euros, wasn't it? That you know you've got them to come on and they'll give you a goal.
Yeah, and that's what Sarina likes. She likes to play her set 11 and then change things, and whether that's changing things on 60 minutes, which she did in the Euros, wasn't it? It was, we knew that Russo and Toon were going to come on around that time. Doesn't call them substitutes, calls them finishers, which I like. So again, you know your role in the squad. You are a finisher. I'm going to be a player that's going to come on. I'm going to make the difference, whether it's a goal, whether it's an assist. And she will be one of those players, Lauren James. And again, she'll know what her role is, and she'll know that she's got the capability. She's confident to go and do that and win a match for England, whether it's, you know, a game that's really tight and you just need somebody to unlock that defence, the defence that's really tight and well organised. She's got the ability to do that.
And she's the arm around that you say to in that moment, go win us the game. She'll relish that. Yeah,
she'll absolutely relish. She'll relish the pressure, the expectation, because now we know that England have that, don't they? They don't just turn up to tournaments. We now expect them to go and bring silverware, go and reach finals. And the players expect that, and the players want that, and they have that real sort of winning mentality, that real desire to go and do that. And she's another player that has that. You can see she will have been absolutely desperate to get herself back fit and available, and she'll want to make the difference.
Take everything else out of the equation as an England fan. If you're sat at home watching this announcement, does that change your opinion on how well England do in this tournament?
It does, 100%. I think she's that good that, you know, there's a lot of players I think that we can go through, and I know we're going to go through them later on, but I think this was the one we were all looking at because of the three announced previously, because it's not what you want, is it? You don't want that disruption before a major tournament, three key players not being available for whatever reason. So then all eyes then turn to Lauren James, and everybody that I've spoken to was saying, I really hope that she's fit. I really hope that she's going to be in that squad. So yeah, of course, she's a game changer.
Do you feel like we're done talking about Earps and Bright and Fran Kirby not being in? Does this put it to bed now? I mean, it's like some 218 caps between them. That's the experience.
Yeah.
I'm blaming you because you just brought it up again.
I know, I'm sorry. I keep bringing it up, don't I? It's a loss. It is a loss. It's experience. It's leadership. They've been there. They've done it. They're all of them different circumstances. The Fran Kirby situation, I think if she'd have gone, I think she's come out and said that she probably would have retired after the tournament anyway because of the injuries and you know, illnesses and things that she's had to go through. She probably felt like this was her last tournament, but Fran Kirby on her day is another player like Lauren James, an absolute game changer, brilliant footballer. See her goals, her assists. Again, another player that can unlock her defence. And with that experience, I'd quite like to have seen her within that side, but that's her decision. And, you know, I think we all respect that. Millie Bright would have started, in my opinion, alongside Leah Williamson. I think they complement each other really well. Millie's your real strong, get stuck in, body on the line. Leah Williamson, very good on the ball, very calm, can break the lines with her passing. Captain for her club, captain for England, we've seen that as well. So you're missing that real leadership off the field, as well as the quality that she brings on the field, that she gives absolutely everything. So, of course, she's going to be a huge loss as well. And then Mary Earps, again, we spoke about her on a number of occasions, haven't we, where how good she is. Yes, she's lost the number one spot to Hannah Hampton. I think it was very close between the two of them. I think that probably the reason Hannah's just edged it is how good she is with the ball at her feet. The fact that she's both footed, it can allow England to play the way that they want to play. So that's probably the only edge that she's got on Mary. But without a doubt, that's three top quality players that you're missing, and experience probably.
Got it off your chest now?
It's all off my chest. I'm okay now.
Okay, good. Right, we'll move on, shall we? Because the England squad is moving on to the announcements being made by Sarina Wiegman. We'll find her reasonings out from 2:30. England on tour then, but what about Trophy on tour? It's on the road, inspiring the next generation of footballers. And with that in mind, we want your reaction to the Lionesses squad. Just use the hashtag SSN Lionesses.
Here we are, Here it is. This is your England squad for Euro 2025. As you keep us, the country will keep you. Your hands are safer now. You focus forward. Fear not, we will always have your back. I hope you can feel it from the street all the way up to the stands. The summer is in the safest hands.
Hannah Hampton, let's go. Kiara Keating, go and shine. Animal House, huge congratulations and best of luck in Switzerland.
You guard the line, you grow the smile of an entire nation until it's fixed in every city's cement. My friends, this summer is ours to defend.
Lucy Bronze, bring it home.
Nossa, so proud of you. You're in the squad.
Jess Carter, do us proud. Neve Charles, you have made the squad.
Maya, you got the call-up. Massive achievement.
Esme Morgan, you know what to do. Go and smash it.
Alex Greenwood, I'm over the moon for you. You've made it to the squad.
Leah, another tournament, another story to be written.
You hold the strings and pull the whole nation together. Yes, we're back again, but now we're better.
Grace Clinton, take it away.
Jess Parr, go out there and smash it.
Ella, you're in the squad. Go make us proud.
Georgia Stanway, it's coming home, girl.
Kira, in those big moments, you know what to do.
May the net always find you, and when it does, glance back and find the whole nation cheering behind you.
Lauren Hemp, go smash it.
Beth, go make us proud.
Lauren James, incredible journey. Now it's even better.
Chloe, go and do what you do so well.
Aggie Beaver Jones, go make us proud.
Michelle Adjiman, stage is yours.
Alessia, we go again. Go on, Russo.
This summer is England's. Let's show the Euros how we do.
Is it even a squad announcement without Righty in there somewhere? We are awaiting Sarina Wiegman to talk about her 23 Lionesses hoping to win back-to-back Euros. The key headlines then, Lauren James and 19-year-old Michelle Adjiman have both been included. So Sarina Wiegman on the way at 2:30. Sorry for winding you up, Sue Smith, because I bet you didn't get a video, did you? Would you like one now?
Yes, please.
All right, and Sue Smith is with us all afternoon, or at least until 3 o'clock. She's not just with us, but you are too, using SSN Lionesses. The hashtag today is where you can get hold of Miriam. I mean, it's not throughout the week. She's not there every day, but she's there today looking at SSN Lionesses. What have we had coming in so far? Everyone, please.
Mostly pleased, I would say. There's a bit of worry about that midfield. People are saying it looks a bit thin. I think they're probably quite right to worry about that. It's a lot of people saying that. There is obviously excitement about Lauren James and Michelle Adjiman. So much excitement there, especially I think for Michelle, who obviously scored that absolute incredible goal 41 seconds into her England debut, so really excited at the prospect of her. A few Arsenal fans really happy with the inclusion of Lotte Wubben-Moy as well. She's been to the past 2 tournaments with England and hasn't played. Jenna on Twitter is pretty closely predicted the squad, and she also thinks Aggie Beaver-Jones will win the Golden Boot. Let's hope for that. People happy to see Maya Letitia in the squad as well. Really just a lot of excitement for the tournament to begin now. And one person said, this is pretty much the A-team. You know what? That is what Sarina Wiegman thinks as well, and that's why she selected it.
Thank you, Mim. Speak to you again in a bit. Can we just recreate your face when we're saying about Aggie Beaver-Jones being the Golden Boot winner? Have I called you out? It was more my face.
It was, yeah.
We've seen, though, what she can do from the bench.
100%. I think when you look who's going to start in that number 9 position, Alicia Russo has just been so good, hasn't she? So to take her place, that's not going to happen. Russo is your number 1 starting player, but Aggie Beever-Jones has showed exactly what she's capable of, the hat-trick. We've seen what she can do at club level as well. And she's got that real confidence and belief, so why not? You've got to go out and believe that, haven't you? That when you come on, you really want to make a difference and make an impact. And, yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what she'll believe that she can do.
You're on the finishers, and that is what she does.
She does, and you know what? Her movement's brilliant, and she's one of those players that I feel is getting better and better all the time, but she's capable of running into the channels. She's capable of coming short and linking play if you need. But it's just that confidence. She just gets herself a little yard there, looks at the near post, and yeah, it's a composed finish, and that's what she's got. She gets in front of goal, and she's just got that calm, composed nature, and yeah, why not? She'll certainly, after the 3 goals, there's no reason why she won't be thinking, of course I can go and win the Golden Boot.
Yeah.
Great, wouldn't it? I love it.
How much do you hate me right now? Prove me wrong. It's fine. It would mean, though, that she's replacing Russo, potentially, or playing together with Russo, those two together?
It's an option, and I think that's exactly what...
It's an option. She's got options.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and I think that's what Sarina would want. I don't see that happening. Maybe it's an option later on in the game if she wants to do that, because they could both drop into the 10. They could both sort of be quite fluid in their movement. But I think it would probably be a like-for-like swap, and like what we've seen Sarina do in the past, where she'll start with Russo if things aren't quite going the way, or she feels like she just needs something slightly different. You've then got Aggie Beever-Jones, who's in form as well, wanting to come on. But you want, though, as a manager, you want competition for places, don't you?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what she's got all over the pitch.
All right, well, I do the Homer Simpson and hide behind the screen. Back into the bush for me. Coming up next, we're going to hear from the boss, Sarina Wiegman, on why she chose that squad. Her news conference live from St George's Park next. Late, we've given her the big up, Sue Smith, and watching the as if by magic, Sarina Wiegman appears. The questions about her 23 Lionesses taking her to the Euros. Let's go to her.
At St George's Park for today's UEFA Euro 2025 squad announcement, a month from our opening game in the tournament, and we'll take questions from the floor. Anton, we'll begin with yourself.
Hi, Sarina.
Hi.
Nice to see you. You're smiling.
Yeah.
How difficult a squad was this to pick?
Of course, it's always difficult because you have, you can pick 23 and you would like to pick a little more because players have been in the environment, have done well. But at the end, you have to make those decisions, which is for some players, for 23 players, very good, and for some players, disappointing. But yeah, we've had the whole process. We've seen the team, of course, a lot over the last week and the last months. So yeah, it's done now.
Obviously, this is the first time we've spoken to you since Millie Bright announced that she wouldn't be part of it. When did you find out, and what was your reaction?
Yeah, of course, the last couple of days I found out. We were in conversations, and yeah, it's sad, it's disappointing. And what I said last week too, of course, it's not nice when you don't feel well physically, mentally, and I just hope she feels well very soon.
How difficult has it been? Obviously, you weren't going to take Fran, but obviously you wanted to take Mary. I presume you wanted to take Millie. How much of a loss are those two players, and how difficult is it to replace them?
Yeah, of course they've done so much for us, so much for England, England football. Have been playing the tournaments since I've been here. So that's hard to replace. But there's also other players who've done really well, and those players get now the opportunity to step up and to show. So you have to move on too.
Lauren James is in the squad. How fit is she, and how much of a risk is it that she's going out?
Yeah, it's not a risk. Of course, we have some time. We still have a month. She's training really well at club, and doing. She's at the point where we hoped she would be at this stage, and she keeps progressing. And hopefully, when she comes into camp, she can go into training with us and keep progressing towards the first game on the 5th of July. So that, yeah, we don't see it as a risk. We're just building her.
Michelle Aguimang, she's in. How excited are you to bring her in, and why has she been picked? Why? Because obviously you've got 7 forwards in the list.
Yeah.
That seems like a lot.
Yeah, you wanted 10 the other day. But yeah, I think she brings something different. I think we're really strong up front. And also we have so many different qualities with the players we picked. And what she showed when necessary, so much physicality. And of course, we all still remember her first goal for us against Belgium. I think that's good to have in the team.
Finally, only five midfielders, and George Stanway's only played an hour of football this year. Is the midfield a little light? Would you like to have more players and more experience in that midfield?
Yeah, of course we have to announce it as all midfielders and strikers and defenders. I think we can move around, when we puzzle, move around some players in different positions. So on this paper it looks like we're not so in depth, but I think in the team we are enough in depth in midfield.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anton. Back to Emma. Thank you.
Hi, Sarina.
Hi.
The hard bit's out of the way. I just want to ask how you are really, because we've been talking about these players, leaving the squad. You've had some really difficult conversations, difficult decisions. So, how are you?
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, I'm good. Of course, that's part of the job too. Well, that's the main part of the job. Make decisions, who to select, who to play during games, who to sub, and things like that. And yes, those hard conversations are not nice because I know what players do and how hard they work to make the squad. And have also great behaviours from players and supportive to the team. So that's very hard then to give them this very disappointing message. But at the same time, I also had very nice messages to give. So that gives me some more energy too. And now that's done, I can move forward too. And I'm really excited about the team and that the Euros are so close now.
You were just talking about Michelle and obviously her being in the squad. Is she a bit of a wild card that you can bring on off the bench? She's quite unknown to a lot of the other teams.
Yeah, I think so. I think so, and we'll see what she can bring. I've seen that, of course, in training sessions and what she did in Belgium. She brings something different, and I hope she can show that in the summer.
Thanks, Sarina.
Go to Tom. Thanks.
Hi, Sarina. It's a 23-player squad, and this time last year, the men's head coaches were naming 26-player squad. So just wondering how disappointed you are with that, if at all, like that there's that discrepancy between the two competitions.
You want to have that equal, if you talk about equality, but I'm happy with the 23 players. I think then you can make, like, for every position, you can have 2 players. I think the rule now is that when a goalkeeper gets injured, you have an opportunity to bring in another goalkeeper during the Euros. I would hope that the way forward will change that rule, that if there are injuries and players have to go out, that you have the opportunity to bring in another player. That for me, that would be a very good solution. But I don't have to go with 26 players. You can only start with 11, and if you're not gonna play a full tournament with 11 players and make that. You need the whole squad, but 26 is a lot.
Thank you. And could I ask about Millie with her news? Obviously, we wish her well. Will you and Sonia Bonpasta, her club manager, maybe together reflect on whether or not there were any opportunities that could have been taken to give her a rest over the course of the last season? Because she's clearly physically and mentally drained. And have there been chances missed to give her a breather over the course of the campaign?
Yeah, of course. But we are in conversations. I think what we all try to do, of course, perform at the highest level. And then recover and do that again. And that's what Chelsea is in. So when you go at the end of the season, you have only big games, and the players want to be involved in those games too. And where you can, you manage some minutes. That's what Sonia has been doing, and that's what we have been doing too. And then what we're trying to do also is give all the support outside of the pitch. And then you hope that players stay in a good place. And unfortunately, at this moment, that's not the case for Millie.
Compared to 3 years ago when you won the title, there's been obviously quite a lot of retirements. I'm not just talking about Mary and Fran, but obviously Rachel as well, Ellen, Jill, and so on. And I'm wondering whether you would agree that this is a less experienced squad. That this is when you won the tournament 3 years ago.
Well, when I came in, the team was very. There were many players, very experienced. But I do think we have enough experience in the team. There's about 16 players who have played a major tournament. Also, with playing at such a high level at club that you are experienced with having media around, playing for big crowds. So I don't think that's a problem. I think. The experience is enough. The balance with very young. They're not all very young. With players that are coming in and playing their first tournament, they're so eager too. So I think that balance and those dynamics are pretty good in our team.
Thanks. Go to Luke.
Hi, Sarina. Nice to see you. You've obviously gone into a lot of international tournaments as a manager. Have you ever known one as disruptive and as with so much upheaval as this one before?
Well, my experience is before major tournament that there's always noise. So we expect noise until we go into the tournament and probably stays. The difference is that in 2017, well, I went to my first tournament as assistant coach 2015, and now just the attention and the visibility of the women's game has increased so much. So it sounds, and that's more noise, but there's just more journalists here and that write and show what we are doing. So that's a lot more. But yeah, we just have to deal with it and move on and focus on football.
From the outside looking in, there are words like crisis being used and turmoil, and like I've said, upheaval. Like you say, there's a lot of noise. What can you say to reassure us in the media and the public that it is a happy group, that is a motivated group, and it's a group that's together?
Yeah, I think. I think you see parts of it. You're not in our environment all the time, and I can assure you that the training sessions have been really good last week. What you could see in Portugal, I thought it was a very, very energetic game, and a good game. And you saw all these connections. And I think Spain was 2 halves. So the first half I thought we played really well. Second half we were struggling a little bit, but you couldn't see that. Yeah, I didn't see anything that there was no connections within the team. So yeah, that's for me, like having had conversations, lots of football conversations, also in camp, seeing what happened off pitch and on pitch with the team. I'm really happy where we are right now.
And you find that your communication with your players has been fine, that there's been these accusations that you were too blunt or too honest. Do you have any regrets about the way you've communicated with your players, or you wouldn't change anything, presumably?
No, after I have conversations with players, I always review, okay, what went well. I think for me it's really important that I am honest, that I treat people in the right way. And sometimes you have very good news, and sometimes you don't have good news, and I don't go around the bush with that. I just give that message then, and then I can't always control how people respond on that. I just hope that they have the clarity when they can move on, and then afterwards with the staff team we can give some support.
Thank you.
Thanks, Luke. We'll go to Kit at the front, please. Thank you.
Hi, Sarina.
Hi.
You said that you would have wanted Mary in your team. All the players you've spoken to have said they'd have wanted Mary in the team. Was there any last-minute phone call to try and get her to reverse her decision?
No, that's done now. That was last week, so that's a week and a half ago. We've been speaking about that a lot, and those conversations were finished. And then, we went back to business and moved on with the team.
And just going back to Mary and Millie, I know they've got their own individual reasons for the decisions they've made, but how tough is it for you to process, I guess, that two figures that you've had so much success with and have been such an important part of your time as England manager are not here, not because of a conventional injury, but essentially because they're not prepared to play for the team?
Well, there's two different situations here, and it's just sad that they're not in the team. But at the same time, it gives opportunities for other players to be in the team, and they step up. And of course, I will always cherish what we have had. So that's a long period of time. We had such an incredible journey with lots of highs and, of course, a couple of lows too. That's part of football. It's part of life, and I will never ever forget that. But at this moment, this is the situation. We've moved on. This is the squad now. I'm very happy with my squad moving forward, and I'm really looking forward to the Euros.
Thanks.
Thanks, Kit. We'll go to Sandra, please.
Thanks. Hi, Sarina.
Hi.
I'm just following on from some of what you were saying there about just the journey you've been on, the differences you've seen as a manager. And some of what Millie was saying when she talks about being mentally and physically at her limit. I just wanted to ask you, I mean, what differences have you noticed in terms of how players are able to manage or handle just that kind of the fatigue that might come in between the intensity of a hectic season and going into a major tournament, particularly compared to the 2022 Euros to now, when obviously, as you mentioned, England's profile growing?
Yeah, I think like what we say all the time, the level of the game has increased so much, so the demands on the players have increased very, very much on the pitch and off the pitch. That's nationally in the Women's Super League, all the games they play, but also internationally. But also with the Nations League started, the international games, the level and the demands on the international games have increased too. Then the attention around and the players are household names now. That's life changing and that's very exciting. But at the same time, players are not robots. They have to deal with these things too and keeping up. So that's also why we're trying to support as good as possible on and off the pitch. And that's what we do. That's what the clubs do. And hopefully many players stay fit and healthy.
Sarina Wiegman giving her thoughts live from St George's Park on her 23-player squad chosen to defend her Euros crown. We'll have plenty more from Sarina Wiegman throughout the day here on Sky Sports News. Sue Smith watching that alongside me. Sue, we both had a little look at that and it harked back to when Steph Houghton, the England captain, was left out and Sarina Wiegman was very much right. Now we move on.
Yeah.
The noise, gone, finished, dealt with, do you think?
Yeah, I think, well, we know how honest she is. We know that she's brave in making big decisions. She's not scared to do that. She did that with Steph Houghton. That was, I think, a surprise for many people at the time. And yeah, she's saying exactly the same thing there, isn't she, with Mary Earps, that yes, it's happened, we've had the discussion, we now move on and it's an opportunity for others. And that's exactly what she'll be saying to Hannah Hampton and the other goalkeepers, that take this chance, you've got this chance now, go and prove that you are the best keeper in the world. And she'll say that to the other players. So we praise her honesty, we praise her bravery and how she's prepared to make these big decisions. And I think as England manager, you have to be able to do that, and she's shown that on many occasions.
Honesty, bravery, that's you. You're picking your 11 next. Sue Smith's chosen starting 11 for that very first game for England against France on the way. 23. Sue spent it warming up to give you her 11. Muscles have been flexed, hamstrings have been pulled. Who's your 11 for that starting match against France? And bear in mind, we know Sarina Wiegman likes to stick with her team throughout, so this could be pretty consistent throughout.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. You've got to try and start with your best 11, if you like. So I think going through it, I think Hampton is obviously the number one choice. I think that's quite evident when you look at the other two goalkeepers with the lack of experience that they've got.
You've gone back 4?
Yeah, I've gone back 4. And again, I think we saw in the World Cup that Sarina can mix it up. She can play 3 at the back if she needs to. And I think the players have got the ability to do that if you need to switch. But yeah, I think it's a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, however you want to look at it. I think having Keira Walsh there, you look back at the Euros, Keira Walsh is one of the standout performers. But I think teams have latched onto that and know how key she is, that England want to build through her. So I think you always need somebody alongside her. I think, obviously, Georgia Stanway's had that injury, so the concern there would be, has she got enough minutes in her legs? But I think, hopefully, she has.
Got the Jamaica friendly to come. She's been building up to that.
Yeah, and I think Grace Clinton has stepped in and done a brilliant job. But for me, she's more of a number 10. So I thought Grace Clinton in there. Georgia Stanway is your energy, but alongside Walsh. So if they need to play the ball out, if Walsh is marked, Stanway's then your option. Also cover defensively if they do lose the ball in there.
She was questioned about whether her midfield options were a bit light, but as you pointed out, Williamson can come in there too.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I think you look at other players can play in those positions. So yes, she's only named 5, but there's other players defensively that can step into those midfield areas. My concern is probably left back, and I think that was because if Millie Bright had been there, I probably would have chose her as my centre-half and Alex Greenwood as left-back. I like a left-footed left-back.
That's always been a problem, though, for Sarina Wiegman since she came in.
It has, yeah. And I went with Carter in the first game because I feel it's a tough game against France, very good attacking players. So I think a very good 1v1 defender. We know she never lets anybody down. So I think to have her in there. I think Niamh Charles, maybe in a game where England are more dominant, they can go into the three if you need, and she can push really high and be more of an attacking fullback, if you like. So, again, she's got options if she needs to change it depending on the game and the situation. And then I've looked at that as my starting 11, but then I've got impacts off the bench. So the likes of Lauren James, who can come on and make a difference. You weren't tempted
to start her, given that Sarina Wiegman in a press conference said she's not a risk, she's where we wanted her to be?
Yeah. I just think match fitness is different. So I think if you're training and you're at the levels that you need to be at training, that's brilliant. And she's clearly at the place that Sarina and the medical team wanted to be to include her into the squad. I just think you need game time. I think you need sharpness. So she's my impact from the bench. Maybe that'll change as the tournament goes on. But I think that's something where if you want her in the number 10, in the 9, out wide, she can play in all of those different positions, but she can come on and win the game for you. Same with Ella Toone, same with Jess Parker. There's a lot of players now on that bench that...
Aggie Beaver-Jones, Golden Boot winner.
Of course, yeah. And there is, and that was the other thing that I liked what Sarina said when she said we've got a different profile of player in attacking lineup. Because I think that's, when you look at our team, you go through the goalkeepers, you say lack of experience maybe defensively, there may be a few concerns there. Midfield, is there a lack of cover? The forward line is the strongest part of England's team, I think, and because of that different profile of player. So you can start with players, but you can bring others on. If you're a defender, that's a nightmare, isn't it? You've just got to grips with one type of player, and then a different one comes on and completely changes it. So I think that's England's strongest part, the forward line.
So we're going to win every game 4-3?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Let's have a little look then. So France first off, that's your starting 11, and you'd be pretty consistent with that going through to the Netherlands and then Wales in that final group game. Wales, by the way, named their team on the 19th of June. We'll bring you that on Sky Sports News. So you'd go fairly consistent with that through those group stages?
I think Sarina will. I think we know that she likes to do that. She likes to stick with that best starting 11 and then change things as the game progresses, unless there's injuries or suspensions or anything like that. But I think she quite likes to do that. So, yeah, that would probably happen. You just look at France as such a top quality side that they just never seem to achieve what we think they're going to achieve. Because you look at the team, you look at the quality and the calibre of players that they've got, they should be winning tournaments and finishing in finals and things like that, but they always seem to underachieve.
Yeah, but can I dangle something?
Go on.
And as a winner, serial winner, Sue, you won't want to hear this, but might it be to England's advantage to finish second in the group in terms of the route to the final?
It would, because when you look at the route to the final, it means you would avoid Spain until the actual final, which is the team that you want to avoid, because we saw how good they were in the last game that England played against them.
So this is if they run us up?
Yeah, so but I just think you can't guarantee that. Sarina will not go out and say, OK, girls, we've got to finish second. You can't do that. You can't risk it. You've got to just try and win every game and finish top of the group. But ideally, yes, that would be the best route. In 2009, we finished third in our group and got to the final because it just meant you avoided the team. So this is obviously then if England finish top. So you don't want to face Spain in the semi-final. You want to leave them to the final and go beat them in the final.
But to be the best, Sue...
You've got to beat the best, haven't you? Very true, very true.
And a Germany rematch in that final.
Yeah, and I think they're still settling in, aren't they, under their new manager, but again, have a lot of quality within that side. So no matter who you play, you know it's going to be difficult and it's going to be different challenges, but I think this England side are ready.
Yeah, the Sue seal of approval. England are ready. We know the 23. We will be back at St George's Park throughout the afternoon. Press will bring you up to date with all the big transfer news from today as well. But Sue, thank you. You've just given me that they're going to win it all the way to the final?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Last time you told me that, we were on a bus in the sunshine in Brighton. Those heady days, they will be recreated again. Can England and those Lionesses go back to back? Who knows? We'll find out with all the latest across here on Sky Sports News. And check us out as well, SSN Lionesses, for your conversation too. Can England do it? They're on the road. We know the team and they're on the way. Goodbye.